Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? Hope that you guys are awesome. I hope that you guys are doing great. I am bringing you another project. It is my cute little Tic Tac bunny treat box. And as you can see, in the bunny's belly are some Tic Tacs. And they just slide right out. They're just white Tic Tacs, a really cute little box to hold those. And you can see inside his little belly. So we're gonna work on that today. I'm gonna show you how I went about making this cute treat box. So it's a very simple one. You can get 4 out of a sheet of paper. So very economical, and it's a simple treat box. I'm using the Easter Bunny bundle, which is this stamp set and the cute punch. So check that out. I'm also pairing it with layering circles. We're going to be using this little scalloped circle. I think it's so cute, is from this. And I've already die cut that out. Let me see which one it is. It's this one, I think. Nope, this one. All right, so it's the 4th smallest. So this was the biggest. Then you go back and forth. So it's the 4th one down from the largest scallop. When I figure it out, I just take my dies out and I lay them on whatever it is I want to frame, and then I make sure that it fits. And I wanted this to hang off my box a little bit, so that's how I figure out what I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and move our project into the corner because I'm going to be using our Simply Scored. And this one's a really simple project. So you're going to take a piece of 5.5 by 3 3/4 of an inch of Pool Party cardstock. We're going to get our Simply Scoreboard out. All right, and on the long side, which is the 5.5 inch side, we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch, at 2 5/8. So that's 5 ticks past the 2. So 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 3 3/8. So that's 3 past the 3. So 3 and 1, 2, 3/8. And then 5 1/4, which is 5 2 ticks. And then we're gonna rotate it a turn, and we're gonna score it on the short side just in one place at 3 inches. So again, on the long side, 3/4 of an inch, 2 5/8, 3 3/8, and 5 1/4. You're going to rotate it a quarter turn, and you're going to score it on the short side, which is the 3 3/4 inch length at 3 inches. Okay, let's go ahead and burnish all of our score marks. Grab my bone folder. All right. And you're just going to make sure that you burnish on all of the marks. And then you just got one the other way. This is a really simple box. So this is what we have. These are our score marks. This little piece right here, we don't need it, so we're going to cut it away. So I'm just going to cut this little rectangle away. We need this tab here because it's what we're going to glue our box together with, but I'm going to angle cut it. Okay, so that's going to be the tab that gets the glue. This is the bottom of the box. So we're going to make our tabs. We're going to leave those straight, and we're only going to angle these little squares. So I'm going to cut straight down the score mark and angle cut, and then angle cut and straight down the score mark, because I want these rectangles to be nice and straight, because those are going to be the pieces of our box that we see. Well, one of them will be. So we're going to angle cut just the square pieces and that tab on the side. So this is what you have left when you've cut it away. Okay, if you want to, let me turn it this way so it will stay flat for you. And you can grab a screenshot while I throw away this scrap paper that I cut away. All right, so that's what your template looks like. And we are going to glue some designer series paper around our box. This is from the Dandy Designs. That is free with a $100 purchase during celebration. If you did not pick this paper, you absolutely want it. It is the cutest paper. Look at all of these cute patterns. It's perfect for all your spring projects. So I have two pieces that are 5/8 of an inch by 2 7/8. And then I have two pieces that are 1 3/4 by 2 7/8. And we're gonna glue those on top here in these sections. So let me grab my silicone mat and I'm gonna flip those over. I want the polka dots on the outside. So we're putting the glue on these little peach X's. Okay. And these two pieces are going to get glued in a minute. Let's go ahead and close this and glue these first. So of course, you know that these go on the two larger panels. And it's just a small border all the way around. So just make sure that you, which is why I use this wet glue, that you wiggle it around and make sure that you can see your score marks. That looks good. Let's do the next one. You can't see your score marks, just bend them back like I'm going to do to show you. See? And that way you get an idea that you have it even. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and glue the two sides on of our box right there. We're going to show you. I just bought a 4-pack of these Tic Tacs at Target. They come in a package of 4. I think it was like $3.50 because they're the larger box of Tic Tacs. You can also buy just one if you want at the checkout. Target also has them at the checkout, one at a time. I think they're like $1.49 or something if you buy them individually. All right, so these thin pieces that are the 5/8 by 2 7/8 go on the sides. So again, I'm gonna flip this back and just make sure before I stick it all the way that I have a good amount, and that if I don't, I can slide it over like I just did there. I want to have an even amount on the side there. Let's do the other one. This is a really quick project. You're gonna love it, and it's simple, but it's still a cute project. So once I have all of my pieces glued in place, I'm gonna add glue to this tab and we're gonna glue this box together. So let's go ahead and, oh, actually, we're not gonna glue the box together. Rewind. Sorry, because I have to cut a hole in the box and I can't do that if it's glued together. So I forgot. We want to be able to see our Tic Tacs inside of our bunny's little stomach. So we're just going to set this to the side and let it dry, and we're going to work on our bunny. So I stamped my bunny on a scrap of basic white cardstock in Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to use 2 Stampin' Blends. I'm using Pool Party Dark and Fresh Freesia Light to color him in. So we'll start with the Pool Party, and we're going to go around his ears here. I want to do his inner ear in the Freesia. And I want to do the little pads of his feet in the Freesia. So he's mostly Pool Party. And I like to outline before I fill in, because if I don't, I tend to make a mess. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm outlining all around my bunny. I'm even going to outline the eyes because I don't want to color inside. All right. And let's do his feet. I'm going to be careful. And even if I get some on the little pads, it's okay, because Stampin' Blends, you can overlay the colors. So it's really not a problem. But we're just still going to take our time and go as cautiously as possible. So there's his little feet. Let's go ahead and color the rest of him. Get his little face. I'll tell you what, I use this Pool Party a lot. I like this color. All right, And I'm going to go ahead and just color his belly for right now. It doesn't need to be, it's going to be cut away, but... All right, so now comes the fresh freesia part. I want to fill in a little darker shading around his face here. All right, so now we're going to do the fresh freesia. We're going to do the inner ear and right here. And I use the fresh freesia to tie in with the scallop circle that I'm using, because it is fresh freesia cardstock. So I wanted to have a little bit of fresh freesia on the bunny to tie that color in. I think these two colors look really cute together. All right, so there is our pool party bunny. It's Easter, right? He can be any color we want. So let's go ahead and fussy cut him out. I'm gonna grab my paper snips. We're gonna start down here. We're gonna work our way around. And this is a fairly easy stamp set to fussy cut out. It's basically a circle with some dips in it. So you're just going to work your way around. The ears are the hardest part, and they're not even hard. You can see I'm moving my paper, not my scissor. I know it looks like I'm moving my scissor, but I'm not. I'm just pressing down slowly as I pivot my paper around with my left hand. So we'll work our way around. That was the hard part, and it's finished. And now let's get around this foot and we'll be done with our bunny. All right. So there he is. Now I've stamped the sentiment on a scrap of Pool Party, and this says, "You're a friend like no other." It's a stamp right here from the Easter Bunny set. There's lots of different ones. You don't have to just use it for Easter. In fact, I absolutely love this set. I'll be using it for lots more than Easter. My daughter has a bunny. His name is Jasper. I had brought him on lives before, so you guys hear me talk about him, I'm sure, a lot. And so we use bunny things for lots of stuff. Like for Mother's Day, I'll make her a Mother's Day card and I'll use the rabbit because it will be from him, of course. He's her baby, right? So anyway, I do love this set, and I love that it has a hi in there. You're a friend like no other. Enjoy all the little moments. It's a new day. And then there's 2 Easter sentiments. This little bird is adorable. This flowers is so cute, and I used that yesterday. If you missed the live, you can watch the replay. Every Tuesday, I have a live video. So we're going to go ahead and glue him down onto this piece, and I'm going to leave his ears without any glue on them. I want them to be popped up with mini glue dots. So I'm going to leave them without any glue, and that way I can lift them up and give them dimension. I'll show you on the Tic Tacs in a second that I left that. I also want to glue this "You're a friend like no other." But first we're going to go ahead and make it bannered ended. So I'm going to come in from one side and then come in from the other side and meet that piece. So there's my bannered end, and I want this to be about right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on the back, about that much. It's going to stick off the side, and then we're going to tuck our bunny around it. So let's move him over, and we're going to have it about there. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm gonna lift my bunny next. So I'm gonna kind of lift him, and if I have to move this over, I will. I have to move it slightly over, so we can kind of figure out where we want it. Remember, I did not glue his ears, so there we go. That's good. So let's go ahead and press that into place. His ears are loose, so I can tuck some dimensionals behind them and pop them up. All right, now we're gonna glue this onto our box. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where our box is going to close. So we always want the tab in the back of our box. So this is going to be the front. So I'm going to glue it onto this panel, and then we're going to cut the belly section out. So I'm going to glue this flat directly on to this piece. I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the bottom so you can see a little bit of that paper, and that's it. And of course, these are hanging off the end, so it's not going to take a ton of glue. I'll show you. I'm gonna miss those edges, and I'm just gonna do like this, just like a Tic Tac box, okay? See how I avoided those edges? And then I'm gonna go ahead and glue this into place. Like I said, I'm leaving one of those polka dots up, and we're attaching our cute little bunny to our box. And then our ribbon we're using is the Fresh Freesia Open Weave ribbon. I absolutely love this ribbon. It's gorgeous. I'm going to be so sad when it goes away. This is one of the in colors that's retiring, and this ribbon I've had for 2 years, and it's gorgeous. I don't even know how many rolls I've gone through. I think it's so pretty. I used about 14 inches, and that's what we're going to use to tie around our box, but not yet. We're going to pop these little bunny ears up. So I'm using the mini dimensionals, and I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 of them. We're going to pull the backs off of them, if I can get those. There's one. And I'm going to pop that behind the ear. I want the ear to stick up. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, pull the back off, and then we're going to tap that behind the ear. That way his little ears have some dimension and they're sticking up. I can tuck my ribbon behind there when it's time. Let's go ahead and cut our bunny's belly. So I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to do this, and I like to use glass when I cut with an X-Acto knife. So let me grab my X-Acto knife if I can find it. Oh, there. Oh, I already have it out. I didn't realize. All right, so we're cutting through quite a few layers. The bunny and this circle and the DSP and then the paper. So it's going to take a little bit. Just take your time and you can go over the pieces. I don't want to cut the black lines. Now I can always color them in if I do, but we're just going to take our time, and I'm going to go over each piece a few times until I feel myself hitting that glass at the back. Okay, so now we're going to come over a little bit, and it's okay if I cut in because we're just going to cut a circle, but I'm just trying to follow the little line marks. Okay, so again, we're going to come around here, and I'm going to come down. I feel myself going through all the layers, so I'm just making a little round around the belly here. And we're, like I said, we're trying to avoid cutting away the black artist lines, but we can draw them in with our Stampin' Up marker if we need to. I'm just making sure that I'm all the way through. I'm not quite all the way through there, so I'm going to come back and put my blade through here until I feel myself cutting all the way through, and I can flip over and you can see that I'm all the way through right there. See how thick it is? It's quite a few thicknesses, so you just have to take your time. Now we're going to do this top section where the hands are. So we're going to come slowly, and I'm just going to bring my blade back to the beginning and just make sure that I'm through. I'm going to come around this little hand. And like I said, it's okay if you come down. We're cutting that away, so it doesn't have to be perfectly cut out. Okay, and it's okay. I'm going past. Again, I'm making sure, and we're going to push this through to the back. All right, I didn't quite get through there, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and bring our blade and make sure that I have sliced. There we go. So there is our opening. And now what I would like to do is take my X-Acto knife and come straight through and down, grabbing anything that I have not cut away a little bit at a time around my piece, okay? This is the hardest part of the project, and it's not even that hard. And I don't want it to show all that color. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to grab my Stampin' Up marker, and I'm going to grab the brush end, and I'm going to stick it in from the back. And I'm just going to lightly add that on the edges from the back. We're going to go here and just make sure that all our edges have that black, because that will help keep the artist lines from showing, keep the artist line showing. So there's our black. I have a stray piece right here. I'm going to use my paper snips to grab it actually. It'll be a little bit easier. They snip right to the end. There we go. So there's the black edging all the way around. We can discard the inner belly section, and now we can glue our box together. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat again. I'm going to put, get my X-Acto knife out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive down this one side here. Okay. And we're going to turn this and join this end to it and just press. Get it to grab. You can also run your bone folder. All right, so there's our box. It's attached there on the side. I'm gonna flip it this way. The front is gonna be the last piece that I push in. So I'm gonna start with the sides, and I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on these tabs so that when the back tab comes down over it, it'll stick, okay? Just like that. I'm gonna hold it in place and square those ends by holding on both sides. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put adhesive on the last tab, the front one. And we're gonna press that one closed, and I'm just gonna hold it. And I'm gonna square my ends by holding right there on the sides. And then I'm gonna flip it this way. I'm gonna put my bone folder inside, and I'm just gonna press back and forth. All right, now we're gonna slide our Tic Tacs in. So let's go ahead and slide those in. All right, you see how the ears are stuck up a little bit? All right, we're going to now tie our ribbon. So we're gonna slide that around, and it's okay if it covers the ears right now. We're going to put it back when we're done. So we're just gonna make a knot, and that way it will hold in place, okay? So I'm gonna hold on here, and I'm gonna make a knot. Bring this through. Have my finger held, so I hold that piece in place, and we're gonna knot that, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and lift that up and slide it under that ear right here, right till it meets up to that dimensional. All right, and now we're gonna tie our bow. So once we have the little knot, press that through, and I'm just gonna gently pull these because I don't want those tails to go all the way through. And then I'm gonna hold on to that knot and pull, hold on to the knot and pull, and then we're gonna keep tightening it until we get it the size we want. Again, we're gonna pull and pull. You always hold on to that knot when you're pulling. It helps to get a nice tight closure. There we go. So now I want to tuck my ribbon piece behind the ear, and I want to tuck this one behind my bow. And then I'm going to use a mini glue dot to keep my bow in place. So I'm going to grab a mini glue dot. I'm going to take my piece, and I'm going to pull that mini glue dot off of there. We're going to tuck it back here so that the bow doesn't move, and I'm going to press it into place just like that. I want to make sure that it sticks right where I want it. So I'm going to press that down just like that. We're going to trim this end. So let me grab my ribbon scissors. We're going to cut that, and we're going to cut this one and make sure it's nice and fresh. There we go. Let's get rid of these guys, these little ends. All right. We'll put our glue dots back in my drawer. And as you can see through to those Tic Tacs inside. I've used the Easter Bunny bundle, the layering circle dies, which is a basic staple. You have to have it in your arsenal. And I didn't use the punch today, but the bundle is part of it. You don't need the punch. It's nice to have if you want to use it to punch the bunny separately, but you don't need it. I hope that you've enjoyed watching me put this together. It's a fairly simple project, and the hardest part is cutting out the belly. And if you don't want the Tic Tacs to show through the belly, you don't have to X-Acto it out. You could just leave it the way it is and just slide your Tic Tacs inside. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to share, subscribe, and see you here next time. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!